Hi guys, Blue Bear Crypto back with another video. Today we're doing a deep dive on what you can do to potentially reduce your electricity by more than half. I'll be discussing different levels depending on the options available to you. Let's get started. So we all know the cost per kilowatt hour in the UK and most of the countries went up massively in the past few years. Luckily, we seem to be trending down from 27p in 2023 to 22.36p as of the 1st of July 2024. That's great and all, but seeing the UK as one of the highest electricity prices in the world as of September 2023 means we should start looking into ways to pay less individually. So how can we do that? Some people have more options than others depending on if you own your own home or can install solar panels. So we'll start for those who can't install anything like batteries or solar panels. The main issue with the standard fixed or variable rate tariffs is that you're paying an average for the electricity used throughout the day with the additional hike on top. To combat this, it's a good idea to find a tracker tariff that checks the actual price of electricity each day or hour, meaning if renewable energy sources are used more, the price will be less in that period as it costs the grid less to keep up with demand. So there's a few companies that offer this tariff like Octopus Energy and E.ON. Personally, I prefer Octopus Energy. The options you can choose which would be less than the traditional tariffs are Octopus Tracker and Agile Octopus. Octopus Tracker follows the wholesale price of energy day to day, meaning each day is a different amount but closer to the actual cost of what you're using, instead of a fixed higher rate. Whilst on average this reduces your cost compared to the fixed rates, it does mean if prices spiked higher for a short or longer period, you'd have to pay these higher rates. This sounds scary, but it's not too bad as you can change your tariff easily and it can take up to 2 weeks. I've switched in a matter of hours though. Agile Octopus follows the wholesale price of energy every 30 minutes. That means you'd pay based on the usage throughout the day and not an average usage like you normally would. The price is determined by how much green energy is being used to support the UK. If we have windy thunderstorms, this can create excess electricity that the grid needs to shift, causing plunge periods. These periods of time mean that we can get paid to use the electricity as there is more supply than demand, drastically pulling down your average usage overall. This option requires a lot of monitoring and scheduling of devices to run at the cheapest times. If you can shift your electricity loads to these cheapest times and use low amounts during peak times, you can easily halve the price of your bill. If you're in a position where you can have a battery installed in your home, then you'd be able to use Agile Octopus to your benefit even more. You'd be able to charge and essentially store that cheaper electricity to be used throughout the peak periods or even for the rest of the day if your battery can supply the daily load. You can set up automated charging periods using Home Assistant or manually through your battery settings. This is the start of leveling up your home to really reduce the higher bills, as you're choosing when you want to buy electricity and even sell it back to the grid for profit. There are times during plunge periods where you can buy electricity on the Agile tariff and sell them on a different tariff for a much higher price, cancelling the cost out for the day or even making it profitable for the day. Now, if you have the option to install a battery and solar panels in your home, you're that one step closer to potentially being off-grid or harvesting all your free solar electricity so none of it goes back to the grid. You would now have the option to decide how much you want to charge your battery using the grid and top up the rest with solar power throughout the day. As long as that peak electricity price is covered, your average costs will shoot right down. So now it's onto my setup so you've got some reference. I currently have 9 solar panels that output 3.6 kilowatt hour and a 9.6 kilowatt hour battery. I currently have a high base load of just under 3 kilowatt hour, which means my battery can support the usage for 3 hours on one charge. If I stop mining, I can run on the battery for the whole day. What things should you consider if you want to venture into solar panels and a battery? The first thing would be the size of the battery. Try to work out your standard daily usage and that number will be an ideal size for your battery as it can run the house for the day. If you want to use more electricity, then you can get a larger battery or even stack batteries like the Tesla Powerwalls. The second thing to consider would be the output of your solar panels and battery. The higher the output, the more you can use in real time. Currently, I can only use 3.6 kilowatt hours at a time before I have to rely on the grid. But if the sun is out, I can use up to another 3.6 kilowatt hours if the solar panels have optimal light. Things like electric showers can use up to 10 kilowatt hours, so a smaller battery won't be able to cover these kind of loads. I'm using the Octopus Compare app to show me the cheapest times each day to charge the battery. And it also shows me how much I've spent on the previous day, week or month. My current average unit cost over 30 days is 14.1p compared to Octopus's current June fixed rate, which is 23.33p per kilowatt hour. I hope you found my short video helpful, and if you have, please drop a like and any comments with questions or how you're saving money on your electricity. I'll be posting every few months with updates on electricity prices with my setup and comparing them to the current standard rates. See you in the next one.